What's up, guys? CJ here, and welcome back to another all-new episode of the Superfriends podcast, where we break down all of the greatest news out of the DC universe. I'm joined, as always, by Tim.
How's it going, everyone?
And Luke.
Hi, guys.
The Flash solo film continues to get more and more interesting, and we finally might have another confirmation. Flashpoint is no longer going to be the storyline for the film. This, of course, the story first broke, and we talked about it, I think, about a month ago, maybe a month and a half, when it was revealed that the film was dropping the Flashpoint title. It came to us from Boris Kitt at The Hollywood Reporter, and he hinted, or seemed to hint, that the film was kind of moving away from that comic book storyline, but he did not outright, say that. Now, in a new tweet, Humberto Gonzalez, El Maibe himself, from over on the Wrap, took to Twitter today and posted a cryptic image of, I think it was a Boss Logic, actually, a Photoshop of Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who played Thomas Wayne, in the Thomas Wayne Batman suit from Flashpoint, getting dissolved, Thanos style. A lot of people might have just looked at this and thought, hey, just the meme after Infinity War came out. Instead, it kind of, in the context of what's going on, it might be another sign that Flashpoint maybe isn't happening anymore, or at least isn't happening quite yet. What do you guys make of this? Are we reading too much into this, like we might be reading too much into the Seven Deadly Sins, or is there more to this than meets the eye?
Well, I mean, props to Humberto Gonzalez for basically reiterating the thing that we already knew.
Oh, so, come on now.
Come
on now. Well, it's one of those things where
sorry.
until it's officially said, I think,
sorry.
I mean,
But,
I think that this, it might add more fuel to the fire, but at the same time, I think that we expected for a bit that this film wasn't going to be based on Flashpoint, even back when it was called Flashpoint.
Right.
Because we got, that information drop from that hashtag show that had, the villains of, have two of the Rogues and Dr. Light and solving a mystery about the death of Johnny Quick.
Yeah.
It never sounded like a Flashpoint movie when we got information about it. They may have changed later, but at the same time, I don't think they're gonna do Flashpoint this early right now if they can turn stuff around with Aquaman.
It's good news to me because I didn't want a Flashpoint movie this early, at the very least. The thing with Flashpoint is that it's very much an event. It has to be built up to, or at the very least, it has to feel like it's a culmination of, an entire year's worth of stories, and I just don't feel like we're there yet with DC. It just would have felt like a waste of that story. Plus, there's a bunch of other stuff you can do with Flash anyway. I
mean, to me, it's like if it wasn't going to be a Justice League 1.5 or something like that, they shouldn't have done it, because it's one of those where you've got to have everybody. It kind of seemed like, especially with the Ben Affleck thing that's going on, just wasn't quite going to be feasible. And so, honestly, again, personally, I would have preferred a Rogues movie, and it kind of seems like that might be what we're getting instead.
Yeah.
But, save Flashpoint for later down the road, and save the Speedster villains for later down the road as well.
No, exactly, for sure.
Because even, outside of setting up, the universe, they'll have to set up a bunch of Flash stuff,
Right.
There's no connection between him and Reverse Flash yet, and that's a big part of Flashpoint.
Yeah,
exactly.
If Flashpoint came out, it would have easily have just been another, it's all this shit that it wasn't even established before, who cares? Nobody would have cared. It wasn't set up, nothing was explored within Flash's mythology, who gives a shit? That was my biggest problem with it. It was a big event. There's no actual building blocks up to it. It would have just been another fucking Justice League or Batman v Superman. So I'm very happy at the idea that it's not happening, because it seems to me like another misstep for them if they did do it.
Yeah, I'm just kind of glad that I agree. It seems like something that they've kind of realized they need to build up to, because it is such a big event. I would say definitely don't waste your shot at doing the movie. Just trying to get it out there for the sake of just getting it out there.
Because, let's look at what they've already wasted. They already wasted Death of Superman.
Yep.
They wasted the New Gods. They wasted the Justice League first meeting together. You got to build these stories up. You can't just throw them out. People care about these things when it's they have a genuine connection with these characters. You need to set that connection up before you can even think about having, a big universe event like this.
I would agree with that. And it's one of those things where it kind of seems like it's the new approach or at least, who knows, I was going to credit Walter Hamada, but who knows whether this was already in the works before he took over or not. But I mean, you look at the way they're trying to set up Batgirl by having her first appear in Birds of Prey and then spinning her off into her own movie. It seems like they're starting to kind of, put the pieces together in terms of...
We hope.
Think more than one step at a time, which is kind of a big deal if you're trying to do the cinematic universe game.
Yeah.
But anyways, again, we're way into a picture on Twitter.
Mostly a joke picture.
It may have just been a joke. I think people were also... Brandon Davis from comicbook.com was kind of like, oh, this is how I have to find out about it. And I was like, yeah, I guess. That means something.
In this day and age, memes are the information of society.
Memes will replace headlines.
They better.